Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hey guys, welcome back to Venting with Us with your girl Christelle. I don't know why. I'm in a great mood, but it's also because I've been like off, not working and really relaxing. Well, semi not working. I was working even. I swear to you, I had my surgery done last week Friday. So as you guys see, I'm doing great. It was a success. I'm still just a little bit bruised, which is very normal after you had your fallopian tube taken out. They were able to save the lap, so kudos to me. I still haven't been able to eat like really good, though it's so funny because I keep like I think I'm a fat girl or something, like severely. I'm like chicken, biscuits, like I'm thinking of all types of things, but I can't like really get them down. All I can have is like liquid stuff, which is probably a plus because I got so bloated. And it's been I got the surgery done on Friday. It's Friday now, so it's been what, a week and like 2 days, and I've already feel like my stomach and my waistline has gone. So I'm snatching back. I'm snatching back. Yeah, yeah. Cannot wait because when you're like in that amount of pain, you tend to bloat, and the fact that my stomach was like literally out to here, so where it is now, I'm like, summer body, yes, here I come. And I didn't even have to exercise. All I had to do was get an operation. So, but a lot's been going on. So I have to show you some tea before we get into our documentary, Runs Like This, which is crazy. But I think any girl can relate to this story, which is why I was very excited to do this one. And I also have another documentary that is going to come out, which I'm going to actually do a double video today. I'm going to do 2 shoots today. So you guys are going to get a little bit of a bonus this week. But have you guys seen what's been going on The Bachelorette? For those that don't watch The Bachelorette, or The Bachelor. Now, I'm one of those that's kind of in and out, in and out, in and out. And the new Bachelorette started, I believe it was on Sunday. I kind of caught many parts of it. Because I think there's like only like 3 or 4 episodes. Again, I'm always like in and out of it. I was not excited about the new Bachelorette this season because it's one of the girls, Taylor from the Mormon Wives. If you guys watch that show, I'm not a big fan of hers. But I'm not a big fan of the show either. There's been a lot going on in that show, and there's just a lot of discrepancies that come with that show. So you guys, it is what it is. We will like what we like, and that's a reality show that I just do not partake in. But come a little closer, my ladies. A little closer. Come a little closer. Let me just tell you, I got the tea, okay? Now, not only for those women out there and gents, we'll throw the gents in there so that way you don't get jelly. But for those females out there that are like, I can't get a man. I can't get a man. There's no one good out here. Let me just tell you something. This girl went. Now if you guys haven't seen, it's circulating all through social media. It's blowing up my FYP page on TikTok, which I'm a little bit annoyed because I'm like, but at the same token, I can't be annoyed because I saw the video of her beating the shit out of her husband. And no, I do not promote domestic violence. I think it's disgusting. And this video was extremely disgusting and very disturbing because you can see her pulling his hair, beating him up. At one point, the camera goes down and you know that she's throwing chairs because you can see a little clip of it and then it goes black. but you can still hear the audio in the background. And at some point, she's throwing the chair and it probably snips her daughter because you hear her husband say, you just threw a chair and it hit your child. Why don't you attend to your child? So it's crazy. So, but back to the point of this combo. So not only and now ABC, NBC, any type of reality show that you go on, especially The Bachelorette, needless to say, um, they really deep dive into your background. Like they really want to know who they're putting on, who they're promoting, yada yada yada. So I'm a little bit shocked with the Bachelorette crew that they knew. I'm sure somebody knew. I'm sure somebody knew that this video was going to come out, and yet you were still able to find 12 eligible bachelors to date this girl. I'm telling you, ladies, there's still a hope in the world. Like, these men still wanted to date her after that whole video. If you have not seen a video, I will get you the link and I will post the link where you can watch it. It's very disturbing. I do not condone violence or domestic abuse. It's something that we should we should take seriously, but this is not a serious show, you know. At times. But it's very disturbing, especially that, her child was there. I think that's what's getting me even more, but, and it's a stigma of, women are always being abused, and we play the victim in some cases, again, I don't condone violence. But you can clearly see, and we're in an age where everything's videotaped, everything. So, and what's even more disturbing is that she's still going out there making TikToks like if nothing and making break heart videos. You broke my heart. Like, girl, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly why I do documentaries, because it's the stupid shit that people do. Like, literally, like, girl, you should be sitting down somewhere. Like, let it cool down. Let it cool down a little bit. Like, don't put yourself out there. She's making all time, like, you just adding fuel to the fire. And the fact that you're making broke my heart. Girl, calm down. I'm gonna need you to like sit, go to the corner like a child. I'm gonna need you, girl. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. And what ends up happening is, you're gonna lose the show. You lost the Bachelorette because they completely canceled it. So you guys have till Monday before it expires. So if you're gonna watch it now. But not only that, but they have made a pause on the Mormon Wives show. So if you're a huge fan of that I guarantee you they're going to fire her. They're definitely gonna fire her. They probably won't. There's two things that might happen. Okay, so they may not continue the show because of this, which is what they kind of did with Shaws of Sunset when Mike abused his girlfriend, and it was videotaped, it was out there. They canceled the whole show. Like, everybody got punished for that, which by all means, what he did to her was crazy. Or they may just remove her, continue with the show, and probably put somebody else in the cast, which sometimes they do also. So we're going to see how this plays out. But it's crazy. The other thing that happens, really quickly before we get into the documentary, is Kenya Moore. Oh no! Like, you see this all the time with reality TV shows. The housewives are always trying to live bigger than what they're actually worth. And she got caught up. She got a mugshot now. Got a whole mugshot for financial fraud, allegedly. It's a mess out in these streets, and I was only off the internet for a couple of days. This is why my girl, this is why your girl is back. Give you all the tea. Give you all the tea. But let's get into our documentary, which is why you guys are here. Now, you guys know Though I do documentaries, I'm going to do documentaries always differently because, listen, I'm the person you want to take. I'm like probably the worst person you want to take in serious situations because I always find a joke in something, and it's just like, but, that's why you guys love me. So, Friends Like This, like these actually is what it's called. Friends Like These is a documentary that is on Hulu right now. It is an amazing, amazing three-part documentary. I'm going to give you the setup. All right. Now, I'm sure that everybody has experienced bullying, being in the popular group or not in the popular group when they were attending high school. High school is probably the most traumatic place that you could go through, part of your life, because this is the time where you want to fit in, but you don't know where exactly you're going to fit in, but you kind of figure it out by the end. For me, um, freshman year was probably the hardest because I was deep diving into brand new time. I didn't know who was who, um, you know, but I got very lucky because of my personality. I got voted most funniest person in my class. So yeah, well, how did you not see that one coming? But I always got along with a lot of people, so I would like to say semi-popular in school. I never really had a problem with people, and those that attempted to have a problem with me, I always went up to them and I would speak to them direct. So that's how I was always known in high school. So nobody really fucked with me. And if you did, I had so many different cliques that were like, nah, 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 she's not like that, because people knew who my personality was. So this is kind of the same situation where you had a group of girls, okay, that a lot of people knew, and you know they were the most popular girls in school, and this is the time where Twitter had just came out, so they were like twittering their lives away, putting everything on social media. It was like soap opera drama. But the documentary deep dives into the complicated and often fragile nature of adult friendships, because remember, at this time we're also, though we're young, we're also growing and maturing into who we are today, right? It follows a group of individuals navigating loyalty, betrayal, emotional dependency, and personal growth within their close social clubs. The victim, who we're going to speak about, her name is Skylar Neese. She was 16 years old when her perpetrators, Sheila Ed and Rachel Schultz, murdered her. In July 2012, the two friends drove Skylar to Pennsylvania, where they jumped her and stabbed her to death. So let me set the scene up. Sheila and Skylar were BFFs from childhood. Okay, they grew up together. They played with each other. They hung out with each other. They did everything together. Okay, boom. Fast forward to freshman year of high school. This newbie, Rachel, comes into the crew. Okay, so now it's the three of them. From the beginning, it's all good. The girls are getting along. They're like, "Ooh, you're my biggest fan," like hee hee ha ha, doing everything together. And of course, just like everything in life that happens, you always get that one girl that comes in, and all of a sudden, they may be cooler to hang out with. So now the other person's kind of left out. So, and there was little signs where Rachel and Sheila, now mind you, Sheila was Skylar's best friend first, okay? Rachel's the one that came in. Rachel comes in, she's the newbie, she's the cool girl. Sheila took to Rachel and they started hanging out a lot. Skylar would get very upset with this. She would get very jealous about this, which by all means, that's my best friend, bitch. How you gonna come in here and take my best friend? How are you hanging out with my best friend and not even tell me, bitch? Like it's a whole bunch of things. And this is exactly how girls think. Like seriously, they're like, and they get pissed off. So Rachel was like, no, no, Skylar, don't worry. I am not trying to take Sheila away from you. We're all friends. I love you so much. Bitch, that's when you got to really look out. Because when people are fake and phony and they show you who they are, guarantee you, they are who they are. So the three girls are hanging out one night, drinking, doing a little, you know, smoking, doing things that high school girls would normally do. Okay, let's not even be like, oh my God, I can't believe they were drinking and drugging. No, bitch. Okay, this is high school. We were all doing it. We were all doing things, experimenting and doing all of these things. So, Sheila, Rachel, and Skylar decided to have a sleepover. Okay. And it got a little wild, and they had Skyla videotape Sheila and Rachel, okay, going far beyond what friendship should be going. Whether or not if this was maybe just trying to find your inner self or what, but those girls were licking coochie. Let's just put it that way, okay? Point blank. That's what it is. They were like, we're going to do a little touchy feely. Skylar was videotaping this. Now, I don't know whether or not they don't say in the documentary if there was feelings, but Skylar was definitely pissed off that she had to videotape this. So this girl had the incriminating video. So now, Rachel, okay, her mom is one of those people that is from the church that was always very, very stern. Even the cops said it. They were like, yeah, Rachel's mom came in when we were asking her questions, and you can see a different way that she was, taking to the conversation and blah, 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 blah. So they knew like shit was not right. Now, couple of weeks pass, and again, Sheila and Rachel are still hanging out. Their relationship is getting closer. And Sheila is getting annoyed by Skylar. And Skylar's just like, I don't understand why we don't hang out anymore. You're always with Rachel, and that's not right. Which again, we're in high school. This is the time where you're having your best friends and you're seeing your best friends being separated by this other person that's coming in. So now there's hot feelings. It's like, who are you to come in and switch up the game? I don't think so. So now here comes my girl Skyla, right? Skyla was smart. Skyla was like, I have so much shit on you guys that if I really wanted to, I'll expose everything. Now, this is all happening on Twitter. Okay. So, and everybody now, the whole school knows who these girls are. They're following into this conversation. Rachel freaks out. So there must have been some type of conversation. Again, they don't show you this part, but it led up into this investigation where Rachel and Sheila were, like, oh my God, what if Skylar lets everybody know? Because here was the thing. Now, remember, Rachel's mom was a part of the church. She was seen as this very like Christian woman. It had gotten out there that they had this sexual relationship with each other. What would this whole town think of that? And this is always motive to, in some people's minds, to kill somebody. So Sheila was like, Now, Sheila was the fucked up one. She was the messed up friend. She was like, "Well, we gotta take that girl out. We gotta, we gotta like come up with a plan, and we gotta take this scare. I'm getting tired of Skylar. I don't like want her in my life anymore." And somehow convinced Rachel to come up with this plan for Skylar to hang out with them and take her all the way to Pennsylvania. When they get to Pennsylvania, they're in this remote area. And for whatever reason, Skylar gets out of the car. She's in front. Now see, right there, that would have been like, I don't know. Something really like suspicious is going on. It don't feel right. Why are we in the jungle? I don't know. But she's going towards the woods. Now, mind you, they're smoking, so she's probably all doped up and not really thinking straight. But all of a sudden, Sheila and Rachel jump Skylar, okay, and they start stabbing her. They stabbed her over like 20 something times, okay, and they said a few of those wounds ended up being what really ended up killing Skylar. Now, I have always said this. If you're going to do a crime, make sure you do that right. Don't bring your phone. You know that there's towers all over the place. You're going to get pings. Like, leave your phone home. Like, don't take your phone home. Don't record stuff like, oh, yeah, we committed a crime. Like, you're just asking to get caught. Like, this is just so crazy. So, on top of it, remember, these girls are in high school, so they can get shaken down really, really quick. So, they ended up going home. Sheila still trying. See, now here's the other thing. I watch way too much Columbo, and if you guys don't know what Columbo is, like, you guys gotta watch Columbo. Like, he was like the best detective back in like the 70s. He was that show was like I still watch that show to the day, and I'm not from the 70s, but it's such a good show because he's relentless. Okay, when I tell you, he's relentless. And Sheila trying to put herself, where it doesn't seem suspicion, makes herself more suspicious. She goes to the parents. She's like, "Yeah, did Skylar get home? We dropped her off. I love you so much. I hope they find her." Okay, that's a red flag right there. That was like too many red flags for me. Okay, but the parents, because Sheila had grew up with Skylar, they didn't know, like, that shit went over their head. So they had no cause to like be like, Sheila, you acting a little shady, girl. Like, you coming around a lot. Like, it doesn't make no sense. So now the parents go to the police station. They, of course, they let the police know that their daughter is missing. Time goes by. The police are now trying to figure this out. Like, what happens? What Sheila and Rachel did not know was that there was a camera in front of Skylar's house. See, this is what I'm talking about. But the camera was a little grimy, so they couldn't make out the car. Okay. And of course, police officers and detectives, being as smart as they are when it comes to figuring out crime, they started looking at other cameras. And of course, somebody else was like, "Hey, wait a minute, did you look at that gas station? Because if they went down a certain path, that it's gonna catch the car that passed by. There's just no way. It has full clear thing." So of course, now the police officers are like, bang, light bulb, okay. And they bring first the girls, and before they look at this camera, they bring the girls in, they put them separate, Sheila and Rachel, in different rooms. They're like, "I want to know what happened." So now the police officers had said, okay, their stories match up. it matches up maybe too perfect. And again, you gotta like if you're gonna say a lie, it's my famous phrase from Judge Judy. You gotta be smart if you're gonna lie. Because you gotta remember the lie that you told, and you have to remember that lie over and over and over and over and over and over in the same format. Okay. You cannot divert from that. These girls were not that smart. So they stuck to their story. They were like, yeah, we went and we were just driving around. We were drinking, we were smoking, and we were just having a good old time. And then she wanted us to drop her off a few blocks, not close to the house because somebody else picked her up. And they were like, they went with that story for a little bit because, like, okay, that makes sense. We do see Skylar on camera running and getting into a car. So this makes sense. Hold on one second. Sorry, my throat got a little dry. So then now they were like, well, why don't we take a little car ride? So now they take Rachel because they feel like Rachel is the more, because her mom is within the church, she is the one that they can probably break down the most, right? Now the cops were smart. And this is where the girls fucked up. They were like, okay, they did this separately. They were like, okay, so show me where you went. Show me, like, where do you guys go? What the driving around was. Rachel says, we made a right. Sheila says, we make a left. And I'm like, that's it. Now we're fucked because now this lie has crumbled. Okay. So now they go back and forth. Now they already know that there's holes in this story. So they go to the camera. They see that for sure now what direction they went because now they see the car. And the car looks similar to the car that was on the other camera that was Grammy. I think that's how you say it. Damn it, it's my one word. There we go. And they ask Rachel, they go to Rachel because they know that she's, again, the more softy. This girl has a mental complete breakdown. They confiscate the phones. They confiscate the laptops, the computers. If you're gonna do something, don't ever Google. What did I tell you guys? Don't go to Home Depot. Don't do any of these things. So, um, so the girl has a breakdown. She confesses to everything because they were like, yo, you're about to go to jail. Like, things are going to happen to you. They scare the shit out of her, especially with her mom. She confesses. And now they're like, okay, now we need you to get Sheila to confess to it. They set up a whole thing in the house. They hid a little camera in there so that way they can get Sheila on videotape. Now, let me just tell you something. If you haven't spoken to somebody in a while and they call you like, Carl, can you come over for a little bit? Like, why? No, girl, I don't go over there. Go by your first instinct because as soon as she got over there, Rachel's talking to her and of course, Sheila goes, girl, they don't got nothing on us. And you just got to stick to the story. And there we go. There we go. It's done from there. It's done from there. So, of course, now Rachel takes them where the body is. Because she cooperates, she gets a little bit of a lesser sentence. They're still both locked up for life. But you can just by her leading them to Skylar's body, even when the cops were shocked with what she said, she was like, it's over there. Not my friend is over there, not that's where Skylar is over there. She's like, it's over there, meaning the body. And the cops were like disgusted. They pick up Sheila. They tell Sheila the jig is up. She's in the back of the cop car, and she's like, girl, I got a hair appointment. Am I gonna make it to the hair appointment today? The cop was like, bitch, you are going to jail. You are not allowed to pass go. You cannot collect your $200. No, I don't know what you think this is. This is like, and this was right before prom. Okay, so she was like, "Oh my god, I got a whole new outfit and everything. Look, I got roots, girl. Bye, girl. Bye, bye." um, so they end up going to court. Sheila ended up getting, of course, more time, and Rachel for cooperating got a little bit less time. This documentary is on Hulu. I highly recommend it. It's such a great three-piece documentary. It's really sad at the end because Skylar, she was such a beautiful person. You can tell by the photos and how much she loved her parents. How they're never going to be healed from this, and that's the takeaway from all of this. Like, you know, regardless of what, high school is high school, but it's even more mortifying that even up to the court, and I watched the court on YouTube because you could watch it there. Sheila had no remorse. She was completely stone face. She had one of the cops that I think it's the correctional officer. I think that's what they're called, that takes you straight to jail. She asked them, she's like, well, can I say goodbye to my mom? And a lot of people knew who the family was, and the officer, and they say this in the documentary. I loved it. I ate every single moment of it. She said, you know what? Skylar didn't have a chance to say goodbye to her parents. So no, you don't get that privilege. Boom, mic drop. All right, guys. I hope you had a fantastic time on this episode. Thanks to the new followers. I saw the numbers go up. I'm so keep spreading the word, get people to join the show. Follow. I will see you next week with Corey Richens. I think that was her last name. Now, this is the girl that killed her husband and then had the audacity to write a grief book. Bitch, bye. I hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend, and see you next week. Love yous. Bye.